Many instructors treat online course curriculums as a sequential checklist where students progress through isolated tasks, watching a lecture, reading a document, then posting in a forum. Researchers describe this as atomistic learning design, characterized by the fragmentation of information into disconnected components. This structure often stems from trying to replicate face-to-face instruction in a digital space. Course designers take the distinct events of a physical classroom, lectures, readings, and labs, placing them into a linear digital layout. While instructors understand the internal logic connecting these elements, students often perceive them as fragmented events with only implicit relationships to the course goals. Checking off a list of assignments does not provide the integrated experience required for deep learning. This fragmented design creates a split attention effect, like when a student references a video lecture on one side of a screen while analyzing a complex document on the other. Separating context from application fractures focus, skyrocketing cognitive load as attention switches between distant tasks. Linear instructional models, such as ADDIE, are often ill-equipped to solve this specific digital friction, as they tend to produce sequential rather than integrated solutions. Overcoming this challenge requires an alternative approach, utilizing iterative design thinking to architect a learning experience design, or LXD. Creating effective online courses requires a shift in focus from building compartmentalized assignment lists to engineering unified digital environments. We can examine this process through the work of Professor Janis, who redesigned a French and Italian Renaissance literature course for an online environment. The course objective was to develop skills in intertextuality, the ability to analyze how a literary work relates to the art, religion, and science of the author's specific time period. The team began with an empathy phase, conducting interviews with students to identify where the original course structure failed to support this complex cognitive task. Students reported that constantly pausing their reading to look up terminology or reference lecture notes disrupted their focus. This task switching prevented them from achieving the deep concentration required for critical analysis. The primary design challenge involved delivering support information at the exact moment of need, preserving the student's cognitive flow. The team moved away from simply uploading PDFs and instead looked toward technology affordances, specifically hypermedia that could merge disparate learning tasks. They utilized a what-if brainstorming strategy, proposing a system where the instructor's expertise was embedded directly into the primary text as a virtual coach. This wireframe prototype illustrates the plan to unify these separated tasks into a single interface. Specific text fragments link to pop-up definitions, historical artwork, and contextual media, allowing the student to access the lecture's insights without leaving the text. This prototyping phase demonstrates that disparate learning tasks can be pulled into a single unified digital space. This final interface becomes a functional learning environment. It begins with a pedagogical wrapper, priming the learner with an enthusiastic tone to set the cognitive and emotional stage. The interface also includes embedded knowledge checks alongside the reading, integrating assessment directly with content. By integrating context and assessment directly into the primary material, the interface itself functions as a virtual reading coach. This realizes William Horton's framework, classifying learning into 3 types: absorb, do, and connect. Students absorb information from the primary text. They do by responding to embedded knowledge checks. Finally, they connect during group discussions, reflecting on challenges with their peers. This alignment creates a unified flow that addresses the fragmentation of the traditional assignment list. Impactful design requires architecting experiences that engage 4 specific human dimensions. The cognitive and emotional dimensions are activated through spatial flow and pedagogical wrappers that frame the work as a challenge. The behavioral and social dimensions are engaged through interactive interpretive tasks and collaborative reflection. Designers must avoid functional fixedness, the tendency to use new digital tools to simply repeat old, fragmented instructional habits. Effective LXD requires activating all 4 of these dimensions within a single integrated learning experience. These principles extend beyond the humanities, scaling to complex simulations in fields like public health and professional training. The objective is to move the learner from a passive observer outside the material to an active participant inside a unified narrative. Achieving this integration requires moving past the assignment list mentality. By utilizing digital affordances to pull students directly into the subject matter, we transform disparate tasks into significant learning experiences.